Good morning, Starshine. This is Smadar, and I'm here today with Joy. Joy is this beautiful jasper stone with the word joy etched into her body. I don't know if you can see it, it's right about here. And I've been trying to get the lighting right for you to give you the best view of her. So I'm hoping that you can see her well. So I'm here today for a couple of reasons. I'm here to share a card with you from the flowers messages, and also to talk to you about joy. If you're part of the Layering Light community or the Symbiote community, I have 3 communities that I do. I share crystals with people, I do distance healing, and I bring together women in sacred circle in various ways. So if you're on my list, you would have received my newsletter and telling you about joy, but I'm going to tell you about this whole magic with joy and what to expect this month. So first, let me start by saying I have 3 communities, like I said: Song of Stones, Layering Light, and Symbiote. And usually I keep my posts separate, and sometimes I share between. Sometimes you'll see I'll share posts here and there between my communities. But this time is very different because this time I feel like it's what's being offered and what's being shared and the magic that's happening spans across all these communities. They're all connected. So I'm going to be sharing out little bits and pieces in each community, and sometimes I'll share it across the board. But I'm just telling you this so you know why, if you're in one community, if you're in the healing community, or receiving information about crystals and so forth. So let me begin by saying August is my birthday month. And in my culture, there is a custom for somebody who has a birthday to offer blessings to people, because the blessings hold a lot more power on that power day, on that birthday. So I love this custom. It's one of my favorite things because it just, like, I know the power of words and I know the power of blessings. Excuse me. And so for me, it's such a joy, speaking of joy, to be able to share a blessing and have it have even more power. So, but this month I'm doing something a little bit different. Normally I wait till my birthday and then I share as many blessings as I can. But this month I'm inspired by this magical crystal to share throughout the month. So Joy is going to be sharing, she already shared a crystal blessing. She's going to be sharing a crystal moon message, which is a special message from the crystal that is shared it comes through under the energies of the new moon and the full moon every month. And this month, Joy is going to be sharing a message. So even though you're not part of the Song of Stones community, if you're interested, it's an opportunity to experience this crystal's message and this crystal's energy. And you're welcome, you're invited, and you're welcome to sign up. You can contact me for information about how to sign up, but I'll be leaving links and stuff in my Instagram and Facebook groups, and again, you can always contact me. So today I was guided to share a card with you, an uplifting card. And somehow when I went to, I have a place where a shelf where I keep all my cards, and I went there and I was listening to see which deck wants to be shared with you today. And somehow I ended up with this in my hand, and as soon as I did, it just felt so right. And when I pull a card, I already pulled the card because it sometimes takes me a while, and I don't like to leave dead air, and I kind of can't chew gum and walk at the same time. So when I'm shuffling and listening for a card, my attention is fully there, and I don't want to leave you hanging with dead air. So I pulled the card, and it's such a perfect card. I'm going to put it out here for you. Black-Eyed Susan. And look at the message, joy and laughter. I mean, the universe is amazing, because I didn't expect that a card would show up that had the word joy in it in this month where joy is key. So here it is. Here's the message. I now shift from darkness to the awareness of light and inner joy. I regain a zest for living with laughter and cheerfulness that heals my heart. That heal my heart. Okay, so here's what I want to say about this. First of all, it couldn't have been a more perfect message. And the timing is so key, because I think that with all that's been going on in the universe, we need some joy and laughter. It's gone on for so long, and people are feeling all sorts of things. There's a lot of loss. There's a lot of anxiety and fear. There's a lot of heaviness. And sometimes it's just hard to get out of that energy. And for me personally, this card is perfect because after Joy revealed herself on the weekend, and I shared, Sunday I shared out the Crystal Moon message, and Monday I would have shared out the Layering Light and Symbia newsletter. But after that, I felt a heaviness that was so opposite of the energy of this crystal. And I really couldn't do much in the last couple of days. I was just having one of those moments where I just needed to honor the feelings that were coming through. And I mean, it's not like I had a choice anyway. I was in it. I was in this dark space. And when you're there, when you're in that darkness, it's so hard to imagine that life is ever going to be any different. it's it's a really powerful energy. And I've been wanting actually to talk about it because I've been hearing from so many people, and I've been noticing the energy of so many people, and how they are feeling, like I said, this darkness and this I don't know, darkness is a good word. Let's stick with that. And I've been wanting to give you guys something to lift you up a little bit, but I also wanted to tell you, don't be in a rush to get out of it. It comes for a reason. It's all part of it. We can experience joy. We really can experience joy if we don't have the heaviness as well. Because without that heaviness, what would we know of joy? And this just happens to be the world that we live in. We live in a world of duality. And I think sometimes we don't realize, or we don't remember, or we don't think that the darkness is okay. The darkness is something that we want to get out of as quickly as possible. We don't enjoy it. It's not fun, and we'll do whatever we can just to get out of it and to get back into that joyful place. And it's just, I mean, we can get to a place where we feel darkness less. And that's part of what my work is across all the communities. To be empowered, yes, for sure, that's a big part of what I do. But also to get to a place where you feel good, period. Like, no matter I'm struggling with this because it's something that I find hard to put into words, because it's really hard to explain to somebody who hasn't experienced it. And it's actually really hard to explain, period, but I'm going to give it a try. There's a lot of energies in this world that we experience as humans, and a lot that kind of just, that we don't recognize and we don't understand. Sometimes there's nothing we can do, and we have to just experience the heaviness and the darkness. But there is a lot that we can do so that we have less moments of darkness, and also that when the darkness does come, that we don't have to stay in it as long, and it doesn't have to be as hard. And I know this is where it gets tricky, because it's hard to imagine being in that place of darkness and it not being hard, because it is yucky. It is yucky energy. But again, it doesn't have to be. And and we don't have to stay in it as long. And one of the ways, and I'm going to tell you right now, one thing that you can do, and I'm not going to tell you that it's an easy thing, but it's very simple. And that is, be aware that the darkness is part of the joy and that it's not going to last. And I know it sounds simplistic and obvious, but when you're in that space, it's really easy to forget that it's going to end because it's so intense and it feels like you're going to be in it forever. And that alone, that one simple thing, that one little shift in perspective and in consciousness can take you out of the darkness much more quickly. And it can ease the intensity. It's like you turn down the volume a little bit, so it's not as hard to get through. And it's a really simple thing. You just have to remember, and it's really hard to remember when you're in it. So it's a little bit tricky. There are a lot of things that you can do, a lot, to help yourself. Again, not get into that darkness as often and not go through it for as long. And that's one of the things I'm here to do. I'm here to help you. To give you different ways. And I do that through the crystals, I do that through the healing, and I do that through group work. But underneath all of it, like the thread, the strand, the thread that goes through every single one of them is empowerment and self-trust and magic. I'm not going to lie, magic has a lot to do with it. If you know me, you know I'm all about magic, but ultimately, even if you don't believe in magic, which is fine, or even if you want to believe but just can't, it's fine, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of stuff you can do, and that is, that's what I want you to see, that's what I want to show you, that's what my work is about. So get in touch. I hope you love this card as much as I do, and I hope you love the synchronicity of the joy coming through in all different ways this month, and that even the darkness is part of the joy. And I hope you got something out of this. And if you're interested in receiving joy the stone, through a star song, and if you're part of my healing community, you might have heard me talk about even the crystal community, because I do the star songs in both. If you've heard me talk about the star songs, I'll be talking about them more this month, because that's how I'm going to be giving joy away, through a star song. And everybody who enters is going to get something. I don't know what that is yet because it hasn't been revealed to me, but I'm going to be giving you something. So, so you can't lose. This is one of my flaws in life. No, scratch that, because I don't want to say it's a flaw. One of the things is, like, I love everybody so much, and I don't want to just give to one person. And I do this all the time in my businesses. If I give to one, if somebody asks me for a discount and I want to give it to them or something, I won't just give it to them. I'll give it to everybody in my community, because it's just the way I am. It's hard for me to give to one and not to everyone. So I'm definitely going to give everybody something. I don't know what it is yet. It hasn't been revealed, but so it's worth entering into the draw. And how do you do that? Okay, so really the only way is by being on the newsletter, because the instructions to sign up are in my newsletter, and they went out this weekend. But I will be sending them out again next week. I'll be doing it again. So sign up to my communities, and you'll be sure to get instructions for how to do it. And if you're not clear, get in touch, and I will see you there.